All right, hello and good morning, everyone. It is finally Friday. We have made it to another weekend. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. We are going to be playing a little bit more Borderlands 4. We've been enjoying the game, enjoying the post game. We've made it to the post game, a level 36. I've still got a long ways to go before I'm max level, so we're just kind of playing and enjoying and having fun with it. Come in and chat about whatever. You are free to talk about whatever you want today. It's Friday. Let's have some fun. So, what is on your mind? I have a Disney princess moment to talk about a little bit later when I was out playing with my RC car. We've got hopefully some great photography coming up this weekend with, there's going to be some owls that are going to be at a local brewery that I can't wait to go see, so that's going to be a fun time as well. So I got lots to talk about tonight. I'm going to go see Casper the Friendly Ghost at a drive-in movie theater. I haven't seen Casper since I was like 6, so I'm anticipating that to be a lot of fun as well. So I've got a lot to chat about, but I also want to hear what you have to chat about. Good morning, Mr. Platypus. You are the first one in this morning. Congrats on being first. What plans do you have for this Friday? Okay, the ice works pretty good on that gun. Let's try out the fire. My character's all about ice and fire, so this is like the perfect weapon for me. Ooh. That is two-shot catching things on fire. I am digging that a whole lot. That looks great. Very happy with this weapon. Feels so good. Until they resist it. I do love there's 31 billion guns in Borderlands 4, and while I have obviously not found them all, I've definitely found a couple guns that I really, really enjoy. This one, of course, and then there's also one that is like a crank machine gun that's pretty cool. You have surgery, so not so much. I am definitely sorry to hear that. I've gone through my fair share of surgeries. Anything major or just kind of routine surgery that's not fun to go through? Ooh, we ran out of ammo already. That could be good. Let's grab that. Good morning, Bubble. Hello. Happy Friday. Glad you could make it. Jaw stuff. Hey, we're in the same boat. I'm doing a short stream today because I have to go to the dentist for the 3rd time. And then I've got a 4th dentist appointment next week. And then I'm probably going to have some stuff for wisdom teeth and jaw too. So I'm right in the same boat. I am sorry. That sucks. The end. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. We've made it to the weekend. Now that we've got some people in here, I'm going to talk about my wonderful Disney princess moment. I was out yesterday. I can't wait to show you some videos and photos. I took my RC rock crawler. I really love going rock crawling with a little RC car. So I went out to a BMX bike track that's at a park that's kind of just built into the park. It's made out of, it's not like concrete. The ramps and stuff are made out of like dirt piles. And like someone went in there and physically made the BMX bike course, which is really cool. So I took my rock crawler out there to do a little bit of jumps and kind of climb around on the different things they've built. So I just went out there and I was playing around, just having fun. And I look up, and a baby deer had wandered up to see what the noise was and was watching me play with an RC car. And it was so adorable, because all I could think was that this little baby deer wanted a turn on the RC rock crawler, but obviously does not have hands, so did not get the ability to. But it was a very, very cute deer. And then his mother wandered in, and then it was like, oh, please don't attack me. I'm not doing anything. I'm not gonna hurt your baby. I did get a Disney princess moment. It was really wonderful. Like, deer aren't rare in my area, so it's not like, oh my gosh, the first time I've ever seen a deer up close. So like, it's just another deer. Like they pop up all the time. But it was still a cool moment. A channel or Chanel. I am doing well this morning, as I was just talking about. I've got Got a short stream today because I unfortunately have to go to the dentist this morning, and that kind of sucks. But outside of that, we've got a lot of fun stuff planned. So we have Mount Angel Abbey near us, which is like one of the best seminary schools for Catholics in the United States and maybe even the world. Marcus, we are playing Borderlands 4. The new Borderlands is out. So we're really blessed to have this really awesome abbey next to us, and they always put on all these cool events, and the one they're putting on is they're releasing some owls. So an owl rescue is going to come show off their owl ambassadors, and then they are going to go and release some owls that they have been helping and saving. So we get to see some owls, and then we get to see some owls go back into the wild. A baby this late in the season is odd, though. Hope it doesn't get too cold over there. We're still pretty warm here. We're still having 80-degree days, so that shouldn't be a problem. Is it any good? That is a hard question to answer, so I will do my best to answer that. Good morning, Jonathan. The game is a lot of fun. I think that this is, without a doubt, the best Borderlands we've ever had. So, like, it's really good. But it also has a lot of really annoying flaws that I hope they fix. The number one, of course, was all the problems with the performance, and they have been working on increasing performance. They just did a performance patch yesterday, which did make a noticeable difference. So, like, that has been fixed. But there's still like a lot of quality of life things that are really unfun. Like if you make a new character, they added the ability to start the game at level 30 if you make a new character, so you don't have to replay the story. That's pretty awesome. Except for that new character doesn't get any gear, and they have to re-unlock the entire map, and the map is huge. So you're almost better off just playing through the story to unlock the map again, rather than skipping it all and then just having to do it anyways. There's a lot of little things, like there are boss fights you can randomly encounter in the world that are a lot of fun, but like if you get knocked out of the boss fight, like they knock you back, it just instantly despawns. That's not great. That doesn't feel good. Your badass ranks, like you know how you level up one character and you get points for your next character to be stronger, those don't carry over. Nothing from any of your characters carries over. And then there's a lot of bugs, like they've confirmed, like there's I'm trying to think of the loot vacuum thing is broken right now, so they've confirmed that the loot vacuum is broken, and there's a lot of quests that are just flat out broken, that just don't function like they're supposed to. So it's a good game, and it's the best Borderlands has ever been, but there's enough flaws that's really holding it back, and I really hope that they fix some of those flaws here soon, because they are really annoying. Should I wait till they fix the game? I mean, there's no rush. I would say yes, probably. Like, Borderlands 4 isn't going anywhere, right? And it's still $70. It's still super expensive for just the base edition, $120 if you're buying the Legendary Edition. So, like, if you haven't gotten it yet and you're not in a rush to play it, and you can wait a little bit longer, they are working on it. And the game, I think, is only going to get better as they patch it, as they improve things like that. Like, I truly believe you will be getting a better experience if you wait a little bit longer. So unless you really, really need to play it today, I think it will only get better over the next few weeks, months, and maybe even year. The game better never get any updates. Yeah, there are a lot of games that get abandoned really fast, but like they already have a really nice roadmap, so they clearly are working on the game and they want to improve it. So I don't think that this is going to end up as like abandonware. I definitely feel like they are working on improving the game. So like this right here, this is what I was just talking about that sucks. So I was fighting these enemies, and I accidentally wandered into this boss bubble, which is clearly above me. If I leave this boss bubble now, I will lose this fight and I won't get a chance to redo it. So like, I wish I could leave this fight and go do that, but I can't, and I don't think I can get up there even. I don't know where that, like, to call this elevator. Oh, good, he came down to me. I was like, I can't call this elevator. So now I have to fight this boss in this tiny little area because I can't get up there. And like, it just seems like really unfun game design there. So that's a problem. Are you going to play Dying Light the Beast? I don't know very much about Dying Light the Beast. I haven't really heard much about it. So I'm excited to play it and try it because I liked Dying Light and I like Dying Light 2, so I don't see why I wouldn't. But I don't really know anything about the game. It kind of snuck up on me. My girlfriend got me the $130 version. It's been running at 100 FPS on minimum recommended specs. You have just the recommended. It's better now, but like there's a ton of glitches. I can't tell you how many games that I've... Oh, see, I accidentally stepped outside of the ring and the boss instantly despawned, and now it's gone forever. Like, that's so dumb. That is such bad game design. And there's a lot of other things in the game that have really bad game design in it. Like, there are quests where you have to like pick things up and move them across the map. And you can't use like your secondary movements, and you drop it. If you drop it in the wrong place, it despawns and you have to start the mission over. Like, there's just some things that really aren't thought out well that I do think they will fix in due time. They will fix it eventually. I'm certain of that. Finished Dying Light 2 campaign. I didn't save the city. I got nuked. This morning my grandpa called and told me my grandma's in the hospital because of heart problems. Me and my mom are super worried about her. The worst morning ever. That is very tough. Very tough. I just lost my grandfather last year, and there's no words that make it easy. So I'm definitely sorry, and definitely while you're going through it, it is the worst part where every morning you're wondering, am I going to wake up to the phone call? Are things going to get worse? There's a lot of things that I don't like about it, so I'm sorry you're going through that. That's definitely going to be tough. It looks beautiful. There's a lot of footage that looks like it's straight from a GoPro. That is really cool. I love good stylistic games. I love games with a good photography mode too. So like if the game's got a good photography mode, I'd be super interested in playing around with that. I love playing around with photography modes. So this is one of my favorite guns here. It's got a crank on it, so you can see I'm cranking it. As you crank it, it goes a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster. And then it creates all these cool explosions. I really enjoy the crank style gun. These enemies I really don't like. So these guys spawn with like crystals on them that make them immune to damage until you break the crystals, which is an interesting game mechanic. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad mechanic in that way. It's a bad mechanic, and there's a lot of guns that you can't control where they shoot to. They auto aim and things like that, and so it creates a big frustration where I'm trying to take out this boss, but I can't because he keeps regenerating these darn crystals. But half my guns have like a delayed explosion on them, so they don't function in the way that works against this specific boss. So I know that's why you have multiple different weapons, right? The whole idea is that you get a bunch of different weapons so that you can handle different situations. But it's really frustrating game design to have like these bosses in the game, knowing that a lot of the guns just simply won't work against them. I don't know how I'm going to be able to work on Monday since that's all my mind's been on my grandma. We're having a lot of those tough conversations lately. Not to hijack this exact thing, but my wife was talking to her little brother yesterday, who's in his 20s, and like I feel so much for all the people in their teens to 20s right now. This is such a problem the world is dealing with like. He's like, I'm scared with how the world is right now, right? Like, I don't like the direction that the United States is handing in. I don't like all the problems that the world is facing. And, like, so much of the next generation is staying there with this. How do you can't say everything's going to be all right, because there's definitely a lot of problems in the world. But then there's also, like, there's always been problems in the world, right? So, like, yes, there are some things that are scary and bad right now, but there's always been scary and bad things too, right? So, like, it's such a difficult conversation to navigate, and I don't want to be that religious guy who's like, oh, well, just turn to God, right? Like, trust in God and everything will be okay. Like, that is the right answer, but also I understand if you're not religious, that's not exactly a helpful or comforting answer, right? How long have I been playing it? I think I've played Borderlands 4 for about 20 hours right now. So, like, I am nowhere near the most play time. There's people who've already got hundreds of hours in the game, so nowhere near the most hours played. But I feel like I've gotten my money's worth. Like, if I stopped playing the game right now and I never picked it up again, I would definitely feel like I at least got my money's worth out of it. So again, I don't think it's a bad game. I think there's flaws in it, but I would definitely appreciate if they fixed some of those flaws, you know? Evolution 3 is coming? Like the game Evolve? That game? Like they're remaking it again? I'd be very happy to hear that. I don't even know what's going on. There's so many explosions. Alright, we're gonna put my shield on for a second. I feel like we need our shield out. Let's get rid of these hive horns. They're like one-shotting me. So hopefully it'll be a little bit easier once that guy's gone. There we go. Halo Wars 3 would be awesome. Halo Wars was the RTS Halo, right? Like, we definitely... The RTS genre has taken a huge blow. There is definitely not as many RTSs in the world as there used to be. And I don't think it's coming back. I think the RTS genre is seen as, like, old people, boring game now. So I don't think we're ever going to see more RTSs, unfortunately. And that's a real loss. RTSs are a lot of fun. Let's get some vampirism going. Baby, good morning. All right, we need to set this guy on fire. He is tanky. He is taking some hits. There we go. All right, cryo time. This is Borderlands 4. Yes. All right, let's freeze him up. Speaking of freeze, made me think of Frieza. So I was talking about why I don't like Dragon Ball Z yesterday, and I realized as I was talking about why I don't like Dragon Ball Z, one of the things I brought up is that I realized that Bluey has more depth than Dragon Ball Z. Like, how does a children's show have deeper characters and deeper stories than Dragon Ball Z? Like, that's how shallow Dragon Ball Z is. Or maybe that's just how good Bluey is. Maybe it's not fair because Bluey feels like a once-in-a-lifetime kind of show. Like, I don't think we're going to have anything like Bluey for a long, long time again. Never played it. Borderlands is definitely worth a play. The first one was super awesome because you had Cage the Elephant. You start with that awesome Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. Like, that was such an iconic intro. And then Borderlands 2, like, perfected the game. Borderlands 2 was so good. So Borderlands is a great series. 3 had some great gameplay, but it had some real bad annoying characters. The main villains were streamers and influencers, and you can just hearing that, you can tell how cringe that's going to be, right? Like, you understand how cringe it would be to have streamers being your main villain, you know? Thanks, baby. I appreciate the sub. So you've got that. Borderlands, the pre-sequel, I didn't really play all that much, but they did make Tiny Tina's Wonderland as well, which is like, what if Borderlands was Dungeons and Dragons? And I know a lot of people disliked the series, that one specifically for that, but I thought that was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed the Dungeons and Dragons aspect of it, and like the fantasy stuff. So good morning, Ghost. I really appreciate when a series isn't afraid to try something new. They definitely went out of their way to try something new. It flopped, but I think it did pretty good. Has anyone played Apex before? I used to play Apex. I'm a fan of the battle royale genre. I'm actually pretty decent at battle royales, but I don't know. Apex didn't really stick with me. Okay, here's another complaint I have about the game. So I put a marker. I need to get up there. So it was telling me to go climb this wall directly like that. So like you see this line? Like that's not helpful. It's saying just run right through the wall. That is not very good. How's the performance and what's my GPU? I'm on a 4090. The performance has been wanting. I've had dropped frames. I've had plenty of lockups. I've had bugged quests. I've been kicked out of the game. I've had crashes. It's terrible performance. And it's not just my 4090. People across the board are reporting problems left and right with the game. So there's 60,000 looking for player post a minute, straight up bots. There's definitely any game that requires online and people to play is always going to have bots, right? Because that's just the problem. If you don't have enough players to supplement the amount of players, then you need to do something so that people who are playing the game can play it. Which is why there's a game that just came into early access beta testing today. There is a game called Fellowship, and the game will be launching in October, but you can play it right now. And it is a game that is like dungeons in MMOs. So you have a tank, you have a healer, and then you have 2 DPS, and you've got to run through a set dungeon for loot, and then you go back to the dungeon to get more loot, and you're powering up your character. It's an interesting concept to have like the MMO dungeons and remove everything else from it. There's no questing, there's no leveling up. It's just pure dungeons. But the game requires a party of 4 players in order to function. So, like every other game that's online only, you need to have a dedicated player base pop up right away. And if you don't have that, then unfortunately the game dies, no one plays it, and that's awful, right? So it is a huge risk to release a online only game like this because, well, if no one joins the game, then it's broken and no one can ever play it, and that sucks. Remember a game called Walking Dead Overkill? I've never really liked the Walking Dead games, so I haven't played a whole lot of them. I'm going to leave this live for about 10 minutes. Alright, Platypus, we'll see you next time. We won't be streaming for terribly long today. As I said, I have to leave for a dental appointment at one point. I don't get a choice in it, so I may not be here when you get back, but I hope I am. Alright, this is the vault. This is the whole point of the game, right? You're a vault hunter, so you're supposed to go find the vault. So we have found the vault. Let's see what is in the vault today. This quest is very hard. I will not be able to conquer this vault, so never mind. We are not gonna do this vault. But we have unlocked it, so that is good. What's the dental appointment for? So, I did not have dental insurance for the longest time, so I, like many other people, skipped the dentist for many, many, many years. So, all of my wisdom teeth came in, so I've just kind of been suffering through my wisdom teeth coming in and impacting and pushing on my other teeth. Finally, I got good dental insurance, so I was like, okay, it's time to go to the dentist. This is going to be painful and embarrassing, but we need to get it done. So I went to the dentist, and they said, okay, we want to work on getting those wisdom teeth out, but we need to first, fix clean your teeth, get all the plaque off, and get you up to speed. So we have to do 4 deep cleanings to prepare my mouth for doing the surgery to remove the wisdom teeth. So I'm doing the prep work to get the surgery. I know I'm not a Christian, but you guys please pray for my grandma. So definitely, we have no problem praying for you, and you don't have to be a Christian to pray. That is by no means a requirement, so we will definitely do that for you. Yeah, the deep cleanings and extractions suck. Yep, exactly that. In fact, the whole reason why I'm Christian, there's a big long story to it, but the final point that got me to becoming a Christian was when I was experiencing a medical crisis and I thought I was going to die. I didn't know what else to do. I wasn't Christian, but I was like, I'm scared. I feel like I'm going to die. I don't know what I need to do. So I was like, you know what? I got nothing else, so I might as well pray, right? Like that's I'm out of options, so I might as well beg God for help. And the next day, I was actually better. My medical crisis was over. So a great many of people start their journey by praying even though they're not Christian, because God hears us regardless of whether or not we are. So it never hurts to ask for prayer. Why does this guy have so much health? 4 deep cleaning sucks. It does. 4 deep cleanings is awful, but we're getting it done, and hopefully we'll never neglect ourselves in this way again and have to go through this again. Hopefully this is the first and last time for this. Hopefully. But I literally just also read an article that said that one in 3 Gen Zers, like 33%, aren't going to the dentist because they don't have dental insurance. So it's only going to be a worse problem, unfortunately, coming in the future, because apparently there's a lot of people who don't have any dental insurance at all either, and that's awful. When you go and ask for injections, not oral applications. So I hate needles, so I would actually much rather prefer get the oral application and take a little bit of pain than get an injection. Borderlands 4 is awesome. I can't afford the dentist. And that's the other part. Even with, I have great dental insurance. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying I finally got the great dental insurance. That's awesome. Even with my great dental insurance, it's $100 every time I go to the dentist. So this month alone, they charged me $400 to go get the cleanings that I needed. And I understand, like, right now we have people who can barely afford the rent, so asking someone on top of, hey, I know you can't pay your rent, but now you also need to pay $400 on top of that, I understand that's just not doable for everyone, and that sucks. I hate that so many of the world's problems can be just solved with money, you know? A little bit of pain, top anesthesia is not enough. So here is... Thank you, God. Here is one sort of blessing that I have. Maybe curse, maybe blessing. I was gifted an incredibly high pain tolerance. And I will, yeah, when I get the extractions, when I have the teeth extracted, I am paying the full price to be laughing gas. I don't want to deal with that. But some Waffles lore for you. When I was young, I had what you call an inguinal hernia, where the wall between my male body parts and my guts broke, and literally pounds of my guts fell out of my body and into a sensitive male area. And that hurt incredibly bad. No, I'm not on a Series X. I am playing on PC right now. This is just a basic PC game. So I lived with that for many, many, many years, and that pain made it so that I can live with a lot of pain. That's why, like, when the wisdom teeth came in, it hurts, but that pain was nothing. So for better or for worse, I do have an incredibly high pain tolerance. Like when I got the hernia finally fixed, they gave me the really, really strong painkillers, because they literally sewed me back together and shoved my guts back inside my body. So they gave me really strong painkillers because, like, you're gonna need this for at least a few months. And I was scared of getting addicted to them, because you hear all the stories of addiction. I didn't take them. I didn't need them. I took them one time because they prescribed them, and then after that I was like, oh, you know, I can manage this pain with a basic Tylenol. So, like, I have an incredibly strong pain tolerance. And that's not me being like, oh, I'm such an alpha male, you know, I'm just so manly. The pain just reflects off of me because I'm so manly. You know, that is one good thing that I got out of all this, is a incredible pain tolerance. So a little bit of tooth pain here and there, I can live with. But when I do get the extractions, like I said, I am paying the full price to have them laughing gas me up. I know it used to make my brother mad, you know, older brother, when he used to beat on me, because that's what older brothers do. Like, I have this, and it's really, when I'm in pain, I laugh, and it's not like a ha. Again, I'm so manly. I just laugh at pain, but it's like my nervous, like I don't know what else to do. So when I'm in pain, I'll just laugh. My mom had nearly 5-hour hernia surgery. We had some guy volunteer at food bank after having hernia surgery, and his reopened. Yeah. So I am permanently disabled. I can never lift more than 10 pounds in my life out of fear of having the hernia reopen, because they literally, like, usually when you have a hernia, they have these pre-made meshes that are like the size of a penny and a quarter. They're like that. They replace the wall and they put that mesh in to seal the hole. So that is the size of a normal hernia. Because my hernia was so severe and so bad, they had to custom make a mesh that's about the size like that. And because of that, it's weaker than most meshes. So I will never be able to lift more than 10 pounds in my life ever again, out of risk of having my guts fall out of my body. And I don't want that. That sounds horrible. So I vastly avoid lifting things, and it makes me feel like a terrible husband. And this is one of those things that, like, society expectations, right? Like, we have a cat. We go get big bags of cat food. I can't lift cat food or cat litter, again, out of risk of reopening my hernia. So my wife has to do it. You know how emasculating and terrible it feels to be walking through a store and my wife is carrying all the heavy things and I'm saying they're just holding like a bag of toilet paper? Like, it's so emasculating, but I've learned to live with it because that's my only option. I'm trying to distract my mind on something else. What do you think about the current war effort on Helldivers, and which planet do you think we should take? I don't know any of that, to be honest. That is one of my weakest points in Helldivers, is I do not understand how people like look at the war map and know where to go and what to do. Like, I have no idea how people manage to do that. So I don't know where to go, and I actually haven't touched Helldivers in a week. I've been playing Borderlands, so I actually don't know anything on that one. Split, welcome in. In this modern day of medicine, they can't do anything else. No, there are some things even modern medicine cannot fix, unfortunately, and that is one of them. They do not have a good fix for hernias right now. Goofy is here. Good morning, Goofy. All right, who's still alive? I want this chest. Give me the chest. Who is here? I'm excited for another exosuit. Like, I was a certified exosuit hater originally. Like, I didn't enjoy the exosuits, but with the new Terminid strains, man, those exosuits are so necessary for kicking the butt of those enemies. So I am excited. If we get a new exosuit, I am here for it. Give me another exosuit. I am ready for it. Helldivers 2 is good. Helldivers 2 was my game of the year last year. I'm one of the things I'm excited for. I know this is gonna sound kind of lame. I love Helldivers 2. It has some flaws too. I want them to improve things. I never want them to stop improving it. But I'm excited that Helldivers got so much press. I cannot wait to see what people come up with for Helldivers clones. Like, in the next few years, we're gonna get so many Helldivers clones, and I'm so excited to see what those Helldivers clones look like when people finally start making Helldivers 2 clones. The only bad thing is the optimization. I have stood by since day one. I have said that they need to abandon Helldivers 2. They need to say this was a great game. We've supported this game. But the engine it's made on is a dead engine that only like 100 people in the world even know how to program. So it's only going to get worse. The optimization's only going to get worse, and the gameplay itself is only going to get worse because there's less and less people who know how to make the game work. So, like, they need to just bite the bullet and say, we're going to start working on Helldivers 3 so that we can program this in a non-janky engine with people who actually know how to program in the engine to make a game that's, functioning in a way that it should. So I know that would frustrate people, because some people, like the Xbox players, you just bought the game, so it would suck to hear like, oh, we're abandoning the game now. But I truly think it is so necessary for them to like remake the game in Unreal Engine 5, or something that's more popular, that more people know how to properly program in, so they can get some optimization in. And they're also limited, right? There's a lot of things they said that they've wanted to do. Like, they've wanted to do a huge UI overhaul, and they said we simply can't because the UI is so hard-coded into the game, that any changes to that is going to break everything else. And this is not a problem just with them. Like World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, you have a starting backpack that's only 16 slots, and we're up to 32, 36 slot bags. So everyone wants to replace that bag. The problem is that they hard-coded that bag into the entirety of the game. And so if they try and change that, it will break the entire game. And that's where we're at, right? That there is so much of the game is hard-coded into it. If they try and change it, they're going to break it. So the only thing they can do is abandon it and start over. And I would support it. I would go buy a Kickstarter for them tomorrow. I bought their Kickstarter for their board game. I'm so excited. I can't wait to play it, honestly. The Helldivers 2 board game is coming next year. Next October, we get Helldivers 2, the board game. Later this year, I am going to make Helldivers 2 the TTRPG. We're going to be playing Helldivers 2, the Dungeons and Dragons version. Like, give me more Helldivers. I will do anything Helldivers. I'm just taking a little break to play this for a little bit, and then in October we're going to be playing World of Warcraft for a little bit. But outside of that, it's all Helldivers 2 still. We are still primarily a Helldivers 2 kind of guy. I know this is weird for a 23-year-old, but I'm so hyped for the next Pokemon game. I don't think that's weird at all. You know, I think basically every kid has some sort of nostalgia for Pokemon. Whether you're like me, you're old enough to have played Pokemon Red and Blue when it came out, or if you're a Gen Z or even a young kid, like if you're 9, 10, 11, 12, you may not have grown up on Pokemon that I did, but I guarantee you your parents grew up on Pokemon and they bought you a Pokemon game. So Pokemon has become this multi-generational, it's for everyone enjoy it, and I'm excited for it. I do Nuzlocke challenges. I haven't done them in a while, but with this next game coming out, we will be going back to the old days of Waffles and doing we will be doing a Pokemon Nuzlocke live stream here soon, so look forward to that. I don't know if I'm excited about it anymore. I'm almost 40 and I took the day off for Pokemon. I should take the day off for Pokemon too. You know what else I'm super hyped for? Game Freak actually spent 1 year longer making Legends ZA. I definitely have some problems with the Pokemon Company and how they choose to do their business. I wish they did other things, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Alright, let's go take out some of these guys. We're going to go up there. But, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something. What were we were talking about something. I was going to say something. Oh, Pokemon, some of the people here, Bubble and Dex particularly, some of my oldest viewers, when I started my streaming journey, I was literally streaming on TikTok, having my cell phone in a holder pointed towards my Switch, playing Pokemon. Like, that is one of the first games I streamed and where I got a lot of my community, a lot of my long-timers here were originally fans of Pokemon, and what I did was devious. I tricked them by saying, hey, we're going to be playing some Pokemon, and they started like, hey, I like this Pokemon creator, and then I stopped playing Pokemon, and we started playing other things. So, you know, they're trapped here forever, but I pulled a sneaky on them. It's waffle time, won't you try some waffles of mine? Fun Waffles fact for you, I actually commissioned and have a theme song. A lot of you newer folk have never heard it, but I do have a theme song. There is an official Saint Waffles theme song that I used to play on stream as well. I like this fully automatic shotgun. This gun feels great to use. Jerk. You know, I always started from the beginning. I didn't set out to be like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be a variety streamer. Like, my goal isn't to stream everything. My goal from the start has always just simply to be, I want to play the games that I want to play, and I want to hang out with my community who wants to hang out with me because they enjoy me, not because they enjoy the games that I play. Like, we used to we used to play Mario Maker a lot, but I got a lot of viewers who only watched Mario Maker, and when I stopped playing Mario Maker, those people stopped showing up. So my goal has always been from the beginning, like, I don't want people just to show up because I play Helldivers or because I play Borderlands. I want people who genuinely enjoy hanging out with me and that I genuinely enjoy hanging out with them. So it's not exactly like a variety streamer thing. It's just I've always wanted to do what I want to do, and I've never wanted to be like, some of those streamers seem so miserable when it's like, hey, you know, I'm sick of playing Dark Souls, but I'm a Dark Souls streamer and my viewers won't show up unless I'm playing Dark Souls, so I've got to play Dark Souls. Like, that sucks, right? Like, and I understand, like, if I'm playing a game y'all don't want to watch, I understand saying, hey, you know, I don't want to watch this, so I'm going to go do something else and I'll be back when you're streaming. So I get that, but also, like, there are so many people like, well, if you're not going to play Dark Souls, then I'm never coming back. Okay, then were you ever actually a fan of that streamer, or, you know, were you just a fan of Dark Souls? So that's always been my goal from the beginning, is to be genuine and attract people who want to enjoy the banter, the unpopular opinions, and that rather than just whatever I'm playing. We should have got gone when the getting was good. You had your chance to escape and you didn't, so now you are here forever. Ooh, my contract target is detected. Okay. Is he over here? Let's go hunt him down. Okay, we're moving away, so he must be over this way? So that's just a little bit about Waffles. Okay, yep, we detected him here, so he must be up this way. There are some creators that aren't good at streaming other games, so it's not fun to watch. You know, I honestly wouldn't know. This is one of those things I talk about a lot. Like, one of the things I'm really bad at is supporting other streamers. Like, I'm a part of the Catholic Raid Train. There's some other great streamers that I try and support. You know, that they're good streamers and I enjoy their content. But, like, so my usual schedule is I get up at 5 a.m. and I stream from 5 a.m. to 7 to 6:30, 7-ish. And then I go start my actual day job that is from 7:30 until 6. And then there's chores, eating, at bedtime. So but between all of that, there's just not enough time in there for me to watch other streamers in there, right? I'm so busy with all the other things that so I'm not aware of other streamers maybe as much as I should be. I definitely wish I could spend more time supporting other streamers who are great streamers and streaming good things, and I can't support them as much as I should. So that is always one of those things that I regret, is not spending more time supporting the streamers who I think definitely deserve a little bit more support and helping out those communities. Alright, it says there's a guy here.
I will tear your synth body apart.
Down under, aka where my stream starts at 10 p.m. Well, I mean, that's kind of one of those interesting things. Like, I didn't think I'd get a lot of people watching me at 5 a.m. Pacific time, but the way time zones work, like, yeah, you can find people outside of your time zone. Like, I have a lot of people from India, the Philippines, the Middle East, all over the world who watch me. I actually have more people from outside the U.S. some days than I actually have people in the U.S., so it's kind of cool to see that. Is this the target? Oh, here we go. All right, we found the things. That's awesome. I got to hear your theme song. I will see if I can play it for you here. Let me see if I've got it queued up. I don't know if this is going to work, because you know how sound is. It's not that one. This one. Okay, can you hear that at all? If so, I'll turn up the volume if you can hear that one. I'll play it for you. Okay, I'm going to turn up the volume. It's a little loud, so warning, a little loud. Here is the Saint Waffles theme song.
Waffles. Saint Waffles. Waffles. Saint Waffles. It is time once again for your daily suggested serving of waffles.
So there is your there is my theme song for you. we used to open up the streams with that. So there is your daily dose of waffles. I'm sad the guy who made that no longer makes music. I tried to commission him for some more songs, but he no longer makes music, and that is such a bummer because he did such a good job making that. Why not start with it every day? Because so I used to stream on Twitch because Twitch works a little bit different. With streaming on YouTube, it's a little bit tougher because YouTube's a little less predictable. Like with Twitch, I was pretty predictable that I would start and my usual like 5-10 people would show up, and then I'd go about my day and we could start the stream that way. With the way YouTube streaming works, it's not nearly as predictable. Like last time I streamed on Friday, we had 200 people watching and 12,000 views. Right now we only have about 30 people watching, and sometimes like you just can't predict it. Like sometimes I'll start my stream and it'll be like 3 people, and that's it. So I have found that starting with the theme song for whatever reason upsets the algorithm and doesn't send me out to as many people. So you have to do a lot to make sure you're appeasing the algorithm, or else you just don't get seen. So you have to play the game. If you want to play in Texas, you gotta have a fill in the band, right? Like you just gotta play by their rules. So for whatever reason, they prefer I don't play the theme song to start with, and then they send me out to people, and then I get to meet all you lovely folks. So there's a new VeggieTales movie next year. VeggieTales is one of those things I missed out on. VeggieTales was a little bit after my time. I've heard so many people talk about loving VeggieTales, but I never got into it because it kind of started existing after I was a little bit too old for it. But I know there is no small amount of people who super enjoy listening to like the VeggieTales theme song and some of their other stuff. So I'm glad they're getting a movie. I also saw like Gabby's Playhouse is getting a movie, and it's again one of those things where it's like this isn't for me. I have no connection to Gabby's Playhouse, but I'm always glad to see that kids are getting like their childhood favorite shows getting turned into movies and things like that, right? So I never got to experience VeggieTales as a kid, but luckily I have a kid, so it's the next show to show him. I don't know. There's a lot of shows when I have a kid that I want to show them. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I can't wait to share Avatar: The Last Airbender with them. But it's also one of those things where it's like Avatar: The Last Airbender has some themes that require some explanation, right? Especially trying to raise them Catholic. There is a lot of stuff that's not Catholic in the show. So it's going to be one of the hardest things about being a parent, I feel, is like, where do I draw the line? Like, when do they understand enough that like I can share this wonderful show with them? Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the most brilliant shows ever made. It's a great kids show. It's brilliant in a lot of ways. It's got great themes, but also there's things that I don't want them to like think are reality. So it's like, when is your kid old enough to understand like this is fictional and what they're talking about is make-believe? It's a fun story, but it's not reality. But then also like, I don't want them to go to other kids and be like, hey, your stuff is a fiction, because there are people who believe in like those chakras and chi and things like that, and I don't want to have that embarrassing conversation where if they meet someone who believes in that, they go up to them and offensively say like, hey, that's all fictional. It's, you're believing in a fiction. So it's a tough thing, right? It's a tough thing to balance. I have to babysit my little brother sometimes, and he forces me to watch Octonauts. I have not heard good things about Octonauts. I've heard that one is not a banger of a kid's show. Play the theme at the end of the stream. That might not be a bad idea to end the stream with that. Right now, I end my stream with the song is called Pax Angelica, and it is made by Father Robert Nixon of the New Norcia Abbey. So I think, was it Platypus? You just said that you are from down under, you're from Australia. my song at the end of my stream is actually made by a Catholic priest who lives in Australia at the New Norcia Abbey, and he gave me permission to use his music for my Catholic streams, which is awesome. So that's why I play his song, because it is also such a good song, and it is made by a Catholic priest, which is super awesome. Now, there again, doesn't have good taste in music. Cartoons did not have an effect on my faith growing up. Everyone's different, but as a child, I had enough sense to know that cartoons are not a reality. I really hope that is the case for my kid, too. I hope they can separate between fiction and reality, and thus can enjoy a lot of fantasy and fiction because they know that it is all fake. I definitely hope that is the case for them. I also am trying to get some music. There is a band I just found called The Thirsting. They are a Catholic band who are actually based in the same state as I am, and they have a beautiful rendition of Salve Regina, and I am hoping, I reached out to them and asked, like, how much would it cost? Because I'm always a fan of pay artists what they're worth, so I'm not going to beg for free. I asked, how much would it cost to be able to buy the rights to play your songs during, like, at the end of my stream or other things, like Catholics supporting Catholics, right? That's what I want to do, is Catholics supporting Catholics. So I am hoping they will message me back with a fair and doable price to be able to play their song on stream. And I really hope, and this is one of those hopes that, like, I understand this is not based in reality at all, right? I'm going to start, but I know this is not realistic. Truck, good morning. But I hope that, like, oh, cool, you're a photographer in the area. How would you love to do, like, a shoot for us? How would you love to hang out? Like, I'd love to meet them and hang out and do things with them, you know? So I hope a friendship forms out of it, but I understand that's not based in reality, right? So what most likely will happen is I'll never hear from them, and I'll just listen to their music because it's good. And I understand that's more than likely what's going to happen. But I hope they see my message like, hey, this guy seems cool. Let's talk to him. Let's hang out with him, you know? Hopefully. Good morning, everyone. Hamura, Truckcoon. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, anime folk. Those are all anime things, I think. I know Truckcoon is, at least. This year's going fast. Until June, I've been waiting for Stranger Things Season 5. I have never seen Stranger Things. I am behind on the Stranger Things. I need to catch up on Stranger Things. I've heard good things about it. But the year is going by super fast. As we talked about last time I streamed, I am excited for Halloween is almost here. Halloween is, of course, my wife's favorite time of year. For me, I like Halloween. I like doing Halloween things with her. But for me, the end of Halloween means November 1st, I can start playing Christmas music, because I love me some Christmas music, and I am absolutely that guy who will sit in the office and play Christmas music November 1st to get into the Christmas spirit, because I love Christmas. So we are almost there. We are almost time for Christmas. Very, very excited for that. Also, at the end of this month, on the 29th, September 29th, is the Feast of the Archangels. And Saint Raphael the Archangel is, of course, my patron saint. I have a special connection to Saint Raphael the Archangel, but this year I have participated in the Saint Michael fast, which is the Saint Michael Lent, a second Lent for Saint Michael the Archangel. So this year we are having a big feast on the 29th for the Archangels. And I'm very excited for that. I missed Oktoberfest because I've been fasting for 40 days. So here is hoping that on the 29th we are going to be doing a Oktoberfest. And even though I'm vegetarian, I'm going to eat some Oktoberfest sausage, a ton of sauerkraut. I'm going to enjoy Oktoberfest. I'm going to disappear in December and early January because we're going to Australia. I am going to word this carefully because as Catholics, we are not allowed to be envious or jealous. But I don't mean this word in the way of normal and envy and jealousy. But I so wish that I could go to Australia like Bubble every year. I want to see Australia so bad. It's not the first pick on my list. You know, we talked about I want to go to the Vatican. I want to see Japan. But I would love to go to Australia and Bubble is blessed enough to get to go to Australia. You know, there's going to be some great pictures from there. It's a beautiful place. Like, I have fun, Bubble, but I want to go to Australia too. It's just hot and sad. I don't think I've ever heard Australia described as hot and sad. That might be the first time I've heard it described as hot and sad. Alright, let's set up a ring of fire. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, music. We're talking about music for a sec. I know you all hate when I talk about music. I promise this is not an unpopular opinion time. This is a genuine musical question because I do not know. Johnny Cash does a beautiful and wonderful rendition of Ring of Fire that I absolutely love. But I don't know. So does someone know, is Ring of Fire actually Johnny Cash's song? Or does he do a cover of it and he just did the cover so well that that has become his song? Like, is he the original creator of the Ring of Fire song? It's his song? That is awesome. I do love Ring of Fire a lot, so that is good to hear. Because I know, like, Johnny Cash did a... Now I'm gonna look like an idiot. There's the other song, Hurt, that is both Johnny Cash and Nine Inch Nails. And I'm pretty sure Hurt was a Nine Inch Nails song, and they said that Johnny Cash did it so well that it's now his song. Or is it? Am I doing that backwards? Did Nine Inch Nails do the rendition of it? So I do love his rendition of Hurt also. Ring of Fire technically isn't his song. Was it like a public domain song? We're learning about music with Waffles today. Ring of Fire was written by his wife's sister. He heard it and did his version. Okay. I mean, that's not uncommon in the music industry, right? Like, there's a ton of people who have ghostwriters or take other people's, you know, music and turn it into a song and all that. So, like, that's not, like, a point against him. I understand there's a lot of people who function in that way. Isn't there, like, a whole scandal right now about Kanye? Kanye West's ghostwriter is having some beef with him because apparently Kanye doesn't write his own songs. He has a ghostwriter who writes all of his songs. Which is wild, because I understand, like, we talk about money. Money will solve a lot of problems. I understand a lot of people do a lot of things for money. But some of the songs that Kanye West has asked to have written for him, I don't think I would be a songwriter for Kanye West. I think that's one of those things I would probably turn down if I got the opportunity. But also it's one of those things that's really easy to sit here on my high horse and be like, I would never write songs for Kanye West. Like that's ever like anyone would ever ask me to write songs for Kanye, right? Like, it's easy to say I would never do that when it's never going to be a possibility for me, you know? Kanye got famous because he was a producer as much as he rapped. I know, here's how little I know about Kanye West. I could not name a single song that Kanye West does. I know he has I'm pretty sure he has an album called Graduation, and I know that was pretty popular, but that's the extent of what I know about Kanye. I'm pretty sure that they call him Yeezy, but I'm not 100% sure that Yeezy is Kanye West. I'm not sure if that's actually, like, a thing or not. So that's... I guess I'm proud to say that I am out of the loop. Like, whenever it comes, like, even like the Charlie Kirk things, I don't always want to bring up Charlie Kirk again, but like I had basically no idea who Charlie Kirk was. Like, when people talk about Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, Nick Fuentes, Kanye, all these famous people doing all these famous people things, like I'm just so uninvolved with pop culture, politics, and all those sort of things that I have no idea what people are talking about. If he has a ghostwriter, I assume it'd be lyrically, but he's been saying crazy stuff forever. I would have no idea. I I tend not to care what famous people are saying. Like, I know that like Taylor Swift is always in the news as saying things, and it's just like, I know that this will upset the Swifties, and I'm sorry if this upsets the Swifties, but it's just, I don't personally care what Taylor Swift has to say or do or anything about Taylor Swift. You know what? I don't understand why people put so much emphasis on what Taylor Swift does or says, because I just don't care, right? Like, I care about her using her personal jet and, you know, some of those things, but as far as just like her day-to-day life, like when people like Taylor watch, oh my gosh, Taylor Swift is at this ball game, or Taylor Swift was spotted in downtown New York, or whatever it is, like, I don't care. He's as famous as Dr. Dre for making beats. See, I couldn't tell you anything about Dr. Dre other than that he's in that Eminem song where he says Dr. Dre is dead and Dr. Dre isn't dead. That's all I know about Dr. Dre. I'm Catholic. I was baptized as Catholic when I was a baby. My mom is Catholic. My dad did not care about the church. We are a Catholic stream first and foremost, so always glad to have more Catholics in here. There is a great deal of Catholics who do not care about the church. There is really fascinating. If you want a trip, there's this group called Pew Research, and Pew Research does research on pews. Basically, they do all sorts of religious studies to see what Christians in America are like thinking and what they're doing and what they're experiencing and all that sort of thing. And if you dig into the Pew Research, you will be flabbergasted at the results you see. Like, one of the basic tenets of Catholicism, like one of the core basic things, is that we believe Jesus Christ is truly present in the Eucharist. That when the priest does the consubstantiation, it truly transforms into has the accents of bread, but has the real presence of Jesus Christ. That is a basic tenet of Catholicism. And it's something like, last study they did, like 60 to 70% of Catholics said that they don't believe in that. Like, 70% of Catholics don't believe in a core tenet of Catholicism, which just shows you like how much cultural Catholicism there was, like where the religion doesn't matter, but people say that they're Catholic because that's like they believe it's their culture. Like, oh well, I grew up Catholic, so I'm Catholic, but they don't actually believe in it's how many people don't believe in it, even though they identify it, is just a huge number. It's same thing, like another core thing of Catholicism is that you are required to go to church every Sunday. And missing church can be a mortal sin that separates you from God. And like less than 20% of Catholics admit to going to church every week. Like, read the Pew Researches. You'll see like why Christianity is so broken in America. Did you ever watch Legend of Korra? Last season wasn't on TV, just online. Yes. I did watch Legend of Korra. I feel like Legend of Korra got way too much hate. I understand that Korra wasn't Aang, and I understand that they were trying to get people to see that they were telling a different story. So I think it got unfairly judged. Does it have some problems? Definitely, but I don't think it's as bad as people said. What was that other thing I just scrolled here? Hi, Jimmy. What thing about Pew Research? We were talking about Pew Research is a group that studies Christianity in America. And they were talking about how, like, a core tenet of Catholicism is going to church every week, and that less than, like, 30% of Catholics go to church every week. And so it talks about, like, the hypocrisy and the problems in the faith and things like that. So Pew Research is a group who will give you some real insight into Christianity in America, for better or for worse. Now, granted, some of their studies are flawed. Like, the way they take attendance for how many Christians are going to church is based on cell phones. They basically look at Google Analytics to see how many cell phones are in that church. And there are plenty of Catholics who don't bring their cell phone to church at all. So, you know, there's definitely some flaws in the study, but it shows overwhelmingly that something is broken. I don't have to worry. I know God exists. That is something I know for a fact too. But part of evangelizing and being a good evangelizer is recognizing that, like, when I try and preach the gospel and talk about God to y'all, just saying that, well, God exists is a fact doesn't really work, because a lot of y'all, I'm going to use this word, and I'm not going to use this word derogatorily. I'm going to use this word in the context. A lot of y'all are heathens, meaning you're not Christians. So saying, well, God exists and take it as a fact because I tell you, doesn't really work for bringing people to God, right? Like, it does not work. Are you going to play Silk Song? Probably not. Congratulations, Mr. Platypus. You have enacted the unpopular opinion glasses time. For all the new people here, when we are going to bring up unpopular opinions, the Green Goblin mask comes on, and here we are, the unpopular opinions. Hollow Knight is overrated. It's just another side-scroller. It's a great game, but I don't think it deserved to be praised nearly as much as it got. So I started playing Silk Song. And Silk Song was just that. Like, it was so hyped up, so I started playing. I was like, this is just another generic 2D side-scroller Metroidvania. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just another generic game for me. I just didn't see the appeal of it. So I'm not a fan of Silk Song or Hollow Knight, but I know a lot of people really, really disagree with that. I know some people consider it to be the best game ever made, but I'm not into it. But speaking of that, here is if I get the chance, here's what I'm thinking. I have, for the last 3 streams, because y'all keep bringing it up, I have talked about how much I dislike The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And I think The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is the most overrated game of all time. And I say overrated, not saying it's a bad game. I'm saying that it's the #1 game of all time on Metacritic, like the highest rated game of all time in existence on Metacritic. It's overrated in the fact that it does not deserve to be the #1 game of all time. But I have never actually played it all the way through. And so some of you are like, how can you be a hater if you've never actually played the game? So, would you all like to suffer through watching me play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time so that I can definitively say and prove it is the most overrated game of all time? What about Undertale? What do you think about Undertale? Undertale is another game that I feel like became massively, massively overrated. Like, I did not enjoy playing it, and the community was really frustrating to deal with, because when I started playing it was deep in like the Undertale memes and all that sort of thing. So I did not enjoy Undertale. Undertale is not for me. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm saying that I did not enjoy the game at all. You can play Ocarina of Time Master Quest. I think I should play the first. I have never actually played the original, so shouldn't I play the original game first before I do the Master Quest? I'd like to see you suffer through playing Breath of the Wild in its entirety. We did that, Bubble. We beat. We did everything on Breath of the Wild except for the ending boss on stream. We did that one already. So I guess maybe we should finally bite the bullet and we should play Ocarina of Time. Have you played Red Dead Redemption 2? Yes. I like Red Dead Redemption 2. Again, I'm going to say Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great game, but it is a flawed game. It is not a perfect game. Red Dead Redemption 2 has some flaws. One of the biggest flaws I think Red Dead Redemption 2 has is the story is way too long. They padded that game out with so much filler content. Like, I feel like they could have made the main quest half as long and it would have been more impactful and a better game. And I know a lot of people feel like that is a really unpopular opinion, but Red Dead Redemption 2 is way too long. And the intro quest, The intro quest is great the first time, but I feel like a lot of games suffer. Fallout 4 suffers from this. Skyrim suffers from this. Red Dead Redemption 2 suffers from this. I don't want to play Red Dead Redemption 2 ever again because I don't want to slog through 3 hours of walking slowly in the snow and having exposition talk at me. I just want to play the game. Games like Skyrim and Red Dead Redemption 2 need to put in a New Game Plus mode that allows you to skip the boring, long exposition and just jump into the main game. They need to do better about that. I cannot tell you how absolutely terribly boring it is to try and suffer through the intro to Red Dead Redemption 2 again. It's just not doable. Same thing with Skyrim. You know how many times I picked up Skyrim to go play it again, and it's like, I don't want to suffer through this intro again, and I just put it down? It's only 30 minutes long max in the snow. That's too long. That's too long in the snow. That's too much snow. Alright, we've almost got this boss down. Great game, but it's so long and it's hard to stay on track. Yeah, I feel like, and that's a problem a lot of games have nowadays, and that's not necessarily the fault of the game devs, it's the fault of gamers, but there are so many gamers, and we're guilty of this, who will look at a game and they'll say, well, I'm not going to buy that game. It says it's only 20 hours to beat the game and do everything. I'm not going to pay $60 for a game that's only 20 hours long. So every game developer feels like they have to make these super long, like there's 150 hours of story and then there's 300 hours of gameplay because there's so many gamers who are like, I'm not going to play your game unless it has infinite replayability and 150 hours of gameplay. Like that's just, it's okay for a game not to be that long. Like The Last of Us. I think the original Last of Us was an absolute masterpiece. It was short. It was great. I experienced the story and I enjoyed the story. It wouldn't be a better game for being longer, you know? A lot of us. All right, thanks for hanging out today. We'll see you next time. I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so I hope to see you at the next one, but have a good night. I played Red Dead Redemption 2 all the way through, and I enjoy it 5 times. That's great. You know, I want people to enjoy games. Not every game has to be made for me, but I definitely don't feel like every game needs to be super long. Goofy, if a game is less than 10 hours, then it's bad. See, there's some games that are short that I feel are good. I'm trying to think of a game that's under 10 hours that would be good. I'm trying to think of a short game that you can beat in under 10 hours that is worth full price. Saying you paid full price for when it came out. Metal Gear Solid 3. You can beat Metal Gear Solid 3 in under 10 hours. Great game. Superliminal, that was a great game. Absolutely. Titanfall 2? Yeah, Titanfall 2 has a great story. Portal? I'm also kind of a Portal hater, not gonna lie. Like, again, not saying Portal's a bad game. I just don't get why people rate it as one of the greatest games of all time. Like, it basically just seemed like a simple vehicle for making jokes, you know? Again, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying I don't think it's one of the greatest games of all time. When we're talking about masterpieces and talking about greatest games of all time, you know, I think of like Doom 1993. The original Doom deserves to be called one of the greatest games of all time. Stardew Valley deserves to be called one of the greatest games of all time. You know, both those games are darn near perfect, flawless games in everything. Execution, music, story, everything. So when I rate games, I tend to be very harsh about rating games. I very rarely would give any game a perfect 10 out of 10. Because I just truly don't feel like many games are a perfect 10 out of 10. The original Doom is a perfect 10 out of 10. It is a flawless, timeless masterpiece. Stardew Valley, flawless, timeless masterpiece. I'm trying to think of other games I would give a perfect 10 out of 10 to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That if a game is a perfect 10 out of 10, a true masterpiece, it is a genre-defining Diablo 1. Diablo 1, I feel like, deserves to be in that category. It's a genre-defining, absolute masterpiece of a game. Mario 1, the original Mario, not Mario Brothers, the arcade game, but the original Mario, genre-defining masterpiece. I wouldn't say harsh, I'd say it's your personal opinion. I mean, I get fair. My personal opinion just tends to be that games are, in general, overrated. If we're using a 10-point scale, then for a game that truly is average, it should be rated a 4, 5, or 6. But like games, IGN, Game Informer, all these places are so afraid to give a 5 or 6 out of 10. Like, this game is good, so we're going to give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 is not good. 8 out of 10 is near masterpiece level, right? Like,
You will be broken.
8 out of 10 should be rare. 10 out of 10 should be rare. Most games should fall as a 4, 5, or 6. Like, that's just how a rating scale should work, but the cowards are afraid to give out the 4s and the 5s and the 6s. Ooh, we got a legendary Throne Double Cream Anarchy Shotgun with Mutilism. On auto reload or kill, grants 15% damage and minus accuracy for 20 stacks. Ooh. Ooh. That's pretty darn good. We're going to have to try that gun out. That's pretty darn good damage. How do you rate the original BioShock? I have not experienced the original BioShock well enough to be able to give it a fair rating. I heard it's good, but I haven't actually experienced it enough to say where I would put it. Let's try out this shotgun. This sounds real good. My double cream shotgun. So I can't manually reload it, but every kill or auto reload increases damage. That could get brutal fast. Let's see. Let's go test this out. Where can we test this out? I missed a shrine. Let's grab the shrine really quick. Oh, it was literally right behind me. Speaking of Stardew Valley, Stardew Valley is such a weird game to talk about. Because I love it. I think Stardew Valley is an absolute masterpiece. Don't get me wrong. But also, like, from a Christian perspective, like, Stardew Valley has so many things that, like, would be anti or offensive to Christians. Bubble, see you next time. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on Monday. That, like, it comes up a lot on the Christian forum. The Catholic Gaming subreddit is a subreddit I'm in often to help people navigate Catholicism and video games. And there's so many things, like, you look at Stardew Valley, like, oh, this is such a cute game, and it's such a sweet game. Like, how could it be anti-Christian? And then you talk about, okay, well, there's there's the ability to turn your children into doves and have their souls haunt you. You know, that's problematic. There's the ability to date the entire town. That's problematic. Divorce is treated as this flippant thing. That's problematic. You can have your dead children haunt you. That's problematic. So, like, there's a lot of things that when you start breaking the game down from a Christian perspective, that you could definitely call problematic in the Stardew universe, when it seems like such a cozy, cute game. But then once you start digging into, like, oh wow, there's a lot of things that you didn't think about at first that really are like, huh, that's not good. So it's interesting to talk about Stardew Valley in that way. Oh, I just blew myself up. That was not good.
I have friends yet to save.
Alright, I like that shotgun. I don't think we're going to use it too much. I don't think it's that great of a shotgun. Cool legendary, but I don't think it meets my build needs. So we're probably not going to do a whole lot with that one. Let's see. We were working our way down to, there was a safe house somewhere in here that we had. Did we unlock it? Looks like we unlocked it, so I guess let's go start exploring the other side of the map, but we're basically out of time, so I guess we'll just go as far as we can. All right, then we got a bounty here. Let's take out this vile bounty. Chance for a legendary. Yes, please. We have to take out Murger. Am I going the right way even? He's up here. Okay. You're killing thousands of people. I'm confused why video games aren't just something seen as an escape from reality and not something that matters in a sense of what themes are present in the game. So that is a whole interesting conversation. So let's jump on it. There are certain things that we call simulated sins that are always a sin, even if it's simulated in a video game. The number one example of that would be like pornography. Obviously, Catholics are against pornography, so purchasing a game that explicitly has pornography in it, even though it is virtual, it is a video game, it is not real, is still sinful. Whereas games like this, where I'm just shooting pixels, that is not a sinful action because I understand that this is a fantasy, it is not real, and therefore it is okay. So when I bring up the issues in Stardew Valley, I'm not saying that those are issues that mean Christians can't play Stardew Valley because it features divorce or it features the ability to turn your children into doves. I feature those as morality warnings for people who struggle with determining whether or not video games are reality or not. There is a whole subsect of Christian OCD called scrupulosity. And what it is people who struggle with sin and they think that everything is a sin and they have a hard time determining what is separating them from God and what is okay to do and what is not okay to do. So my goal is never to tell someone you can't play this game because this game is just pure evil, but rather it's to help give people perspective. Okay, you're going to start playing Stardew Valley, you're going to be confronted with things like divorce and magic and those systems, and there are people in the world who struggle with determining what is real and what is not real. So it's important for them to know going into it that, hey, this is going to feature some of those things, and if you struggle with determining what is real and what is not real, you may have a hard time with this game because it's going to feature some of those things. So turning your child into a dove in Stardew Valley is not going to separate you from God. It is not a sinful thing, but there are people who either with scrupulosity don't want to engage in that, or they just simply don't want to take part in it, or even like we talk about boycotting things, right? Like I could fully understand if someone said, you know what, I don't want to support Concerned Ape because he treats divorce so flippantly. That, again, it's not a sin to purchase the game, but I could understand if someone said, you know what, I don't want to support this game creator because they have values that I don't believe in. That is a completely acceptable and normal thing to do, right? Everyone does that to some degree. I talk about it a lot with Starbucks, that I try very hard not to shop at Starbucks because I don't like the values that Starbucks presents, and therefore I'm not saying it's a sin to shop at Starbucks, but I am saying that if given a choice, I will try not to shop at Starbucks because I don't want to financially support a business that takes actions that I disagree with. So when we talk about those things, again, I'm not saying it's sinful, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm simply saying these are present so that people can make an educated decision on whether or not they want to engage or spend their money or in any way interact with that media. There are certain things that will always be a sin, but there are other things that people can enjoy. What did Starbucks do? Starbucks had announced for a while that they were going to add to their health benefits certain procedures that Catholics disagree with, that they were going to pay for their employees to be able to go and do certain medical things that Catholics disagree with. Because of that, I chose not to spend my money at Starbucks because I did not want to be a person who went and gave money to those causes. Now, again, I'm not saying that people who shop at Starbucks are sinful or wrong. I'm not better than someone who shops at Starbucks. I simply saw that and said, I don't want to give my money to that organization. And I think that everyone, not just Catholics, I think that every person in the world would be better off if we had a little bit more thought about where we're spending our money and saying that I don't like the morals and values of this business, so I'm not going to shop there. I understand a lot of people live in areas like food deserts, for example, where there's like Walmart is the only place in that they can afford to shop at. So they don't get a choice, they shop at Walmart. But given a choice, I'm never going to shop at Walmart if I can avoid it, because I don't want to give Walmart money because I find some of their business practices abhorrent and disgusting. So I think everyone could use a little bit more chastity of the money and saying that these businesses don't support what I believe in, so why am I giving them money? That goes for game creators, that goes for entertainment, that goes for movies, that goes for so many things in life. I think we could all do with a little bit more discernment on... I mean, at the end of the day, every business, especially every big business, is evil. So, like, no matter what, you're going to be spending money at an evil business. But I guess there is a lesser evil in there. What did Walmart do? I mean, Walmart intentionally goes into areas with low prices to force mom and pop shops to close, and then once they force everyone out of business, they raise their prices, which is extremely harmful. Half of their workforce is on food stamps because they don't pay a livable wage. They union bust. They do all sorts of anti-human things. What's the game name? This is Borderlands 4. I think you need the gym and some girls. I am happily married, so I do not need any more girls in my life. I have my wife, and that is all I need. And I do plenty of exercise. I am working on losing weight. We are definitely losing a lot of weight. We have almost lost 200 pounds, so I am working on that as we speak. So go out and touch grass, quit yapping. These are things that are important. Where you spend your money is important, and this is exactly why I'm talking about this, because people say it's not that serious, it's not that big of a deal, but every time you shop at Walmart, you're supporting a business that is intentionally underpaying people, a business that goes out and actively harms the community. It is a big deal. Again, if you don't have a choice and Walmart is the only store near you, then sure, shop there because that's your only choice. But if you have a choice, it's important to put intention into what we do. I don't want to support a business that does those anti-human practices, and most people shouldn't want to do that. Last time a Catholic dude ran my country, it turned bad. I mean, there's definitely going to be flawed Catholics. Like, there's flawed everything, right? There will always be flawed people who are going to do and say bad things, right? That is a fact of life, is that there will always be bad Catholics, people who do bad things. That doesn't make Catholics bad. That doesn't make Catholicism bad. They're simply bad people. And there have been bad Catholics. There have been bad popes. I will be the first to admit that. My number one example of bad popes, there was a pope who literally had his predecessor, the previous pope, dug up and put his bones on trial and found him guilty of crimes like that. That's a bad pope. That's a bad thing. But there is nothing wrong with having more intention. Again, not even as a Christian, just as a person of saying, I make a certain amount of money and I want to spend that money in my community to support my community. That is a good thing every person should do. That's like the whole reason, like we talk about AI art, right? There's a lot of people who are very anti-AI art because they will go support an artist, right? If where you spend your money doesn't matter, then why would we have artists at all? You can get that same art by going online and asking an AI to give it to you. It matters because we're supporting our community, we're supporting our artists, we're supporting our neighborhood, our community. And when right now, when times are getting tougher and we're entering a potential recession and other problems, that community matters so much. So I know you say that it's not that deep, but it really is. These are important things, but they're brushed aside as unimportant when they really are important. There's also Pope Clement V. He condemned the Knights Templar. We talked about the Knights Templar in a previous stream, and I will always say that when it comes to the Knights and the Crusades, I am not educated enough on that topic to bring it justice. So I do not talk about the Crusades because I simply don't know enough to properly discuss the topic with the severity and history that needs to go into it. And then if you want to talk about bad popes, I mean, this is an example I give so much. Let's talk about the first pope, St. Peter. Real Dio, welcome. Good morning. St. Peter, the first pope, one of the most influential characters in all of Christianity, literally denied Jesus Christ. So when we talk about flawed people, we also have to point out that, the first pope denied Jesus. So we're all guilty of our flaws and we all could be better. But I also find it so humbling and such a good thing that that's the example we have to live up to. If a man who dedicated his life to being the first pope, who had such an influence on Christianity, if he himself failed God in that way, we too will fail God in many ways. The important part is to brush ourselves off, go to confession, and try again. So it is that's where like the saints come in. Looking at the saints, some of the saints have greatly inspirational stories. Other saints you get to look at who were terrible sinners who did so much wrong, and they still made it to heaven, and that's inspiring in so many ways as well. Have you ever watched a short series called Nightfall? I have never seen Nightfall. Haven't even heard of it. There's another series that's coming out soon that I kind of want to watch. I'm skeptical. I got an ad for the Daily Wire Plus that's doing a series on, it's called The Pope and the Fear, about the Pope during World War II. I don't trust Daily Wire as a news source, so I don't know how biased that show is going to be. Yes, there is a pope who dug up a previous pope and put him on trial. Are you streaming on Twitch? No. I gave up Twitch and I stream only on YouTube. I have played all the Fallouts. I love Fallout 4. I know that's also unpopular, but I'm a fan of Fallout 4. But what's Nightfall? What's Nightfall all about? I even liked Fallout 76. I know it was unpopular when it came out. This is Borderlands 4. Yes, this is Borderlands 4. It looks beautiful. I am on a 4090, so your results may vary. Your Borderlands may not look like this Borderlands. I am maxing it out right now. I cannot tell you how blessed I am to have this beast of a PC that's running Borderlands on max graphics while also streaming. It is taking a lot out of the PC, though. Nightfall was a short series about the Knights Templar when they had retreated from the Holy Land, and it focused on the French temple and how King Philip turned on them. Interesting. I might have to give that a watch. That sounds like a fun watch. I don't know if fun is the right word there. However, it is 6:35. I know Ben Real, he just joined us. Unfortunately, he joined late. I have another dentist appointment today, and I have to go because it is in 20 minutes, so I got to go get around and get ready to go get tormented for an hour. So I have to go, unfortunately. I'm sorry we can't keep going. Said that was a $4,000 PC. How do you only have a 4090? How much storage do you have? It was a $4,000 PC when I got it. It's over a year old, so it was when the 4090 first came out. It was a 4090 when it came out. So like it was a top line PC when it came out. It's also got an i9 14900K. I've got 4 terabytes of storage in there. 4 terabytes? I have, more. GG, welcome in. I'm doing good, but just about ready to stop streaming, actually, because I have to go to the dentist. In total, I want to say I have 8 terabytes of storage in total, because I have a few external drives as well. And then, I've got the camera set up, and then I've got everything here, so I got a lot of stuff. So thank you everyone for joining me. I'm sorry for everyone who just joined late. I would say I'm going to stream later today, but I'm busy today and most this weekend. But we will be back at it on Monday. Unfortunately, I don't even have time to do my ending prayer as always because I really got to go get ready. So that's it. I can't talk anymore. Thank you everyone for joining me. I will be here on Monday, but I got to go. So have a blessed day, everyone.